Every big rapper eats pumpkin muffins. That's for sure. It's a known fact. Look into it. The history of rap. Every single big rapper has eaten pumpkin muffins. Okay, maybe not. But every successful rapper has done this. Drink lots of coffee. You stupid. If you ain't got one yet, make sure you go get that nice independent shirt at IndieAmplify.com right now, along with services, more information, and all kinds of stuff. IndieAmplify.com, the best site that's ever been created on earth, ever in the history of the internet or anything else. Even better than pumpkin muffins. Maybe. Okay, here we are. You're wondering what every successful rapper does. Well, let's go over that right now. There are numerous things that every successful rapper does. Now, there'll be a different mix for each rapper and how they do it, how they go about it, their strategies, how they came up, these moments that happened that created their buzz or created their fame or whatever you want to call it, their swag, their sauce, their drip, their clout, their whatever you want to call it. But they all do these certain things. They all do certain things that cause success, that get them to the top. So the main thing I notice about every rapper that's successful is they stand out. They all stand out. Whether it's tats on their face, whether it's colored hair, whether it's just a crazy lyrical flow, whether it's the beats they have, whether it's anything, the clothes they wear, there's something about them that stands out that separates them from the rest. It could be your ethnicity, it could be your sex, it could be anything. Like there's so many things that can make someone stand out. So when you're thinking about standing out, that doesn't mean you have to copy someone else's recipe, but you have to figure out a way that you're gonna stand out amongst all these rappers, okay? If you spend time thinking about this and thinking about your highlights, like what you're best at and your attributes that maybe stand out and maybe separate you from the rest, if you put thought into that and push that into your branding, you will stand out, and this will help you go far. Every single rapper that has made it 99% of the time stands out, and that's a fact. So make sure you stand out. Beyond standing out just as an artist, you got to stand out in your marketing. You got to get creative. You got to think of creative ways to market yourself. Don't just copy what everybody else is doing. You could do some of the things people are doing, but try to do it in your own way. Running contests and things, you can run your own contests. Figure out what contests work for you. Make sure it's something for your audience that they're going to love, that they're going to appreciate, that they're going to spread across the world. You got to make sure you think about your look, your feel, your vibe, everything else, and also how you market your look, your feel, your vibe, and everything else as well. So it's not just making you as an artist stand out, but your whole brand, your whole plan, the whole thing as much as possible. Okay, if you see the people that are standing out right now independently, you look at Tom McDonald, you look at Dax, you look at all these guys, they are standing out in their own ways and they're figuring it out. You know, all their thumbnails are popping on YouTube. All of their video concepts are great. All of their ideas are big. Some kind of meaning or some kind of story that pulls you in. Okay, so you got to figure out a way how you're going to pull them in. How are we going to pull them in? Once you figure that out, then you just got to work your plan. You know what I mean? Plan to work your plan, and do it. Because it's not easy to make really great videos or really great content. So make sure you plan it out really well. Make sure it aligns with your brand. And make sure it's going to stand out amongst the rest, right? So now that you know to stand out, once you are standing out, you have to be consistent, okay? You have to be consistent. You have to keep doing what you're doing over and over again. That doesn't mean making the same kind of song every single time. But people do like to know what they're going to get from you for the most part. You don't have to be in the same lane all the time. There are people that bounce around a lot, but I do suggest staying as niche as you can without staying the same all the time. So you do want people to know what to expect when they're getting a new song or a new video from you. When a new Little Baby track comes out, I know what it's going to be. I pretty much know what's going to happen, but because you like that sound, you're ready for it. You're excited about it. When a new Tom McDonald video comes out, you know what it's going to be. You know it's going to be something crazy. You know it's going to be something controversial and people are going to go, whoa, what the hell is this? That is important, to be consistent, because you build fans upon your sound and upon what you're talking about, upon your subject matters, upon everything about your art. And if you build a bunch of fans upon that one piece of content, they're going to want more similar content. That's why they subscribe. That's why they hit that follow button. That's why they came into your world in the first place. So if you hit them with that and you get a bunch of fans from that and you try to bring them something totally different, sometimes it works out, but in most cases it does not. So you have to be consistent. And that is just the first part of consistency. Consistency in the type of music and the type of content you're creating, but also consistency in how often you're putting it out. You can't just take months and months and months off from putting out a piece of content, because you will slowly lose fans and slowly lose interest in your music and you. So you need to put out music as much as you can, keeping the quality up high, obviously, but you need to put music out as much as you possibly can while keeping the proper quality level of that music and of that content. So if you're going to put something out and you have something big planned for it, a bunch of marketing, you're going to put all this time and all this money into it, you might actually want to have your next few singles halfway planned, at least, that are going to come after that. Because what if that pops off and you ain't ready to follow it up, right? So you got to make sure you're ready for that to possibly pop off, especially if you have a lot invested to it, because you feel like it's going to create momentum for what's about to come right after that, okay? So consistency. Make sure you're consistent. Consistent in your message, consistent in your marketing, consistent in your timing as far as consistently putting things out. Stay consistent, okay? I know we've said this probably in 3 or 4 different videos, but it's very important. So that's why we got to drill it in your head, right? While doing these things, you're going to have things I like to call milestone moments. All right. So every rapper, every artist, every person, every creative that gets a large following has milestone moments. Okay. They can be anything from a certain video release that happened. It could be a cosign. It could be a feature they bought. It could be when they did a giant blast of marketing that changed things for them. But everybody has those moments. So to put it into perspective, me and Futuristic, when we started out with his music, we put out an album called Dream Big, and that caused a local buzz, right? So we had a local buzz. But from there, the next milestone was when we got Dizzy Wright and Jaron Benton on Don't Mind If I Do. It went on the Funk Volume channel, and that was another milestone. And then after that, I Guess I'll Smoke came out with Dizzy Wright and Lazy Bone, and that was another milestone. And then after that, Futuristic did the Nerd Rap, and that's the big milestone. That's the one that went viral. Now, these milestones can't be planned necessarily as far as like, oh, this is going to be my milestone and then that's going to be my milestone. But you need to work on every track like it could be a milestone. So you have to think about all the things you can do, from marketing to making the video more entertaining to making your thumbnail good, doing all these things to make sure it goes as far as possible. Because in the end, the milestone moments are what make or break your career. If they don't happen, your career doesn't happen. So you have to get these milestone moments. Some people's milestone moments are broken into smaller chunks and they have mid-level or smaller milestone moments that build into something big over years and years and years. Some people have these 1, 2, or 3 milestone moments that just blow it all up. You know what I mean? You have to plan like every single release could be that milestone moment, doing everything you possibly can to try to make that one of those moments. Because when those moments happen, they not only bring attention to all of your old catalog, but they also bring attention to everything you're going to do after that. And you need to be ready for that. You need to be ready as in have the catalog there. And you also need to have stuff on the back burner ready so you can follow it up and keep it rolling. Plan every piece of content like it could be a milestone moment. It could be a building block to take you to that next level. Every artist has them, whether it was a freestyle, whether it was a one take, whether it was a release, whether it was a cosign, whether it was a feature. Everybody does it differently. But everybody does it at some point. You can look back at almost anyone's career and you can find the milestones. Some are a little more obvious than others, but you can find them. They're always there. So make sure you're treating every piece of content like it could be that milestone moment. Okay, so you've had some milestone moments, right? And you're gaining momentum and you're gaining steam, and that's great. But what you need to keep in mind is your mind. You need to stay grounded. You need to stay humble. Okay, people want to work with people that are humble, that are honest people, that are nice people, that are kind people. In most cases, you're not going to get a lot of work done if you're a giant. Whoa. You have to stay humble, grounded, and down to earth and stay on your grind. Because people want to work with someone, one, that's moving, and another one that's nice and kind and easy to work with. Like, that's very important. When I'm looking for an artist to work with, yes, I look for talent. Yes, I look for numbers, but they gotta be easy to work with. And also try to understand business as much as you can. You have to remember that when you're in situations working with other people, everybody needs some value out of the situation. So if you're always thinking me, you're probably not gonna get a lot of good situations going on, because people also want some kind of value added to their situation in most cases when they work with you. So don't be surprised when someone wants a this for that when they come to work with you. That's how this world works. That's how business works. That's how music works. That's how everything works, right? So make sure you're easy to work with. Make sure you stay humble and you're easy to communicate with. Communication is key. When someone messages you, don't take 3 days, 4 days, 5 days to get back, okay? People understand that you might not text them back or message them back that minute, but within 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, you need to make sure you're staying in contact with people that you're doing business with, or that are buying features from you, or that are doing collabs with you, or producers that you're working with, or anything else, videographers. You need to make sure you stay on those relationships and make sure you have good communication skills. If you don't have good communication skills, you should probably work on that. I know some people like to be a recluse and like to hide out and say, well, I'm the kind of guy that makes music in my basement and I don't need to come out. No, okay? That normally doesn't work. You need to be able to communicate with people, even if it's just online. Even if you don't like talking on the phone or being in person, you can talk online and communicate with them there in a proper, kind, and prompt fashion, okay? We can all do that. Anybody can do that. Make sure you keep your head right when those milestones happen, because you want more milestones to happen. And to get more milestones to happen, a lot of times you have to do work with other people, because other people are normally what help you create new milestones in most cases. So you'll have to do that. Now, I know you came into this video maybe thinking I was going to give you some magical pill, one magical thing that all big artists do, like maybe they, I don't know, join the Illuminati or some shit. But that's never the case, okay? These are the things that most successful artists, probably almost all successful artists, have done and have in their career that brought them to the success that they're at. So you have to do these things, okay? So you have to do these things. So going to an artist like Futuristic, he's a perfect example of doing all the steps necessary to gain a fan base, to keep a fan base, and to keep rolling independently and not need any major label. Because what he did during his entire career was, one, be consistent. You know, he did change his sound for a little bit, but also did the other sound as well. Two, he also kept great relationships with everybody. He has great relationships with tons of people in the game, whether it be industry or independent. He also looks out for artists that are younger, that are coming up, to build relationships with them. He does not hold himself on some pedestal way up above everybody where he's not willing to work with others that are maybe not quite as famous, but they also got something going on for themselves. You have to stay in that mind state so you can stay relevant in the game, okay? Not only that, he's kept a humble attitude the entire time as well. So you have to stay humble. You have to act like you haven't eaten yet, even if you're scraping your plate. All right, so I hope this helped y'all out. I hope this helps you understand some of the things that you need to do to be a successful rapper in the year 2020 and beyond, so you can stay relevant, stay on top, and stay doing your thing. Keep it independent. Much love. Action out. These muffins are amazing.